My name is Hannah Cox. I am a writer, an activist, and a commentator. I think the dominant thing that surprised me, especially in that first month of COVID, was the willingness of people to just go along. You know, there seemed to be no pushback. And of course I was in New York City, so it was a very different attitude and approach than maybe you would have seen in other areas of the country. But nobody was questioning whether or not we should be doing this, if what we were doing would actually prevent the spread of a disease. And to me, as a layman, I don't have a scientific background at all, I just remember thinking, I don't know how sitting in my house is going to prevent the spread of a respiratory illness. This doesn't actually make sense to me. But nobody was pushing back like that. They weren't asking questions. And so I think when everybody else around you is silent and they're going along with it, it leads other people to sort of fall in line as well. And that was upsetting to me. And I quickly realized that, I'd seen some of this in our political movement for some time in this country, that increasingly people don't stand up and push back against the system when our rights are being taken. I think I still had some hope that if there were ever something major that really happened and people saw it going down, that you would see people rise up, but they didn't. And that was when I think I actually became a little bit more afraid, because you just realized so few people were going to take any kind of meaningful stand because they were scared. I think there is still a large portion of the population that is bought into the government's narrative. But outside of that, people are becoming radicalized. People who have had their kids kicked out of school, people who have lost their jobs, people who have had their businesses shut down, people who've been locked in their homes, people who saw their elderly parents killed because of an inept healthcare system. These people will not go back quietly. They're going to be paying attention to these issues from now on. There's a huge opportunity for us to come in and say, now you see it. Now you see how the government functions. Now you see how little they care about you. Now you see that they will lie to you. And now you see that even in the best of intentions, let's say with the healthcare system, where I don't think anybody wanted people to die, they are incompetent. They are not capable of responding to something like this. What we need is the free market. And the only reason we got where we are with the coronavirus is thanks to the free market. We pulled back regulations. We pulled back telehealth restrictions. All of a sudden, we got rid of all of these things we've been trying to remove for a long time. People keep asking, why is healthcare so expensive? Why is it so hard to get? Well, they knew, because the minute we had a crisis on our hands, they removed these regulatory components that were making it expensive and slowing it down. It's kind of at a point where you have to have your head pretty deep in the sand after the past year and a half. If you choose to still willingly believe their narrative, if you still choose to think that government officials are infallible or won't mislead you, you haven't been paying very close attention.